On today's episode of 2 for Tea, we're doing something a little bit different. We're going on a field trip to beautiful downtown Lake Orion. We're going to visit with Elena Campbell, owner of Cookies and Cream and Sprout Bake. Hi everyone, my name is Shannon, and I am the owner and chief flavor alchemist at Because You Are Priceless Tea and Spice Company. On our 2 for Tea live stream, we connect you with local business owners that can help make your life a little bit better. Gotta get on my mask. Let's go. Well, we're sitting inside 20 Front Street, who has graciously allowed us to film this episode inside their cafe. Elena, I am so glad to have you here with us for 2 for Tea. Welcome.
Thank you so much for having me today. I was really excited to join you.
Well, as you know, Elena is the owner of Cookies and Cream and Sprout Bake right here in downtown Lake Orion. So Elena, tell us a little bit about Sprout Bake and what made you even think of it.
So, like any invention, I guess, it came out of necessity. So we were struggling a little bit with some digestive issues and realized that we were having problems with gluten. Well, one of the things my daughter and I loved to do was bake together. How do you bake gluten-free things that taste good? Everything we bought at the store tasted terrible, plus it had no nutritional value to it as well. So we got in the kitchen and started experimenting. My goal at first was to make a cookie that was healthy enough to feed my kids for breakfast, that was also gluten-free. So that was the first creation that we made, and from there it went on into the muffins and the cupcakes, and then we started selling our frozen batter so that people could thaw and bake their own at home.
Well, I am a big fan of your frozen batter, and I am so excited to learn about the different things that you can do with your batter outside of just make muffins, to learn a bit about sprouted grains, which is something you use in your Sprout Bake mixes, and just to talk to you a little bit more about some things you hold dear, like using local ingredients, both at your Sprout Bake company and then also with Cookies and Cream. But first, before we get started, I'm going to acknowledge the elephant in the room. Just because it's a little bit, this is the first time we've filmed a 2 for Tea where everybody is all in one location. But as you can see from this picture right here, we are not sitting next to each other. Just so we can be following the safe social distancing, Elena and I are actually across the room from each other. So it's very interesting to have a conversation with you, Elena, being 20 yards away from you. So we'll both stare at our individual cameras and then look at each other every once in a while from across the room. But anyway, I appreciate you being willing to do this in person, even though it is a little bit awkward doing it this way. So thank you.
Thank you.
So sprouted grains, this is something that you use in all of your muffin mixes. So what exactly is a sprouted grain?
So I'm glad you asked. The name of our company is Sprout Bake for a reason, and that is because, like you said, we use sprouted grains and nuts and seeds in our frozen batter and also in our breakfast cookies. And I know a lot of people don't understand what that means. Typically, a person thinks when you say sprouted, you're talking about little green sprouts that we find in the grocery stores and at different restaurants now that you consume as like a little salad or something.
Like bean sprouts.
Exactly. That's typically what people think of when they think of sprouts or sprouting. We're not going that far into the sprouting process. You only need to soak your grains or nuts or seeds overnight in water. And what that begins is an amazing process of waking up that seed, and many things start to happen inside the seed or the nut to prepare it to grow. One big thing that it does is it breaks down the phytochemicals that are present particularly on the outside of the nut or seed, and those are there to protect the nut or seed, right? Because it needs to have a protective coating until it's in the right conditions so that it can grow. So What that does in our body, though, is creates lots of problems. It's hard for our body to digest when it has that coating on the outside, and the process of soaking these grains and nuts overnight breaks down so many things and makes so many nutrients then available to our body. So I learned about this in all of my research because we were having so many digestive issues. As any good mom would, I started doing lots of research trying to figure this out. And I stumbled upon an organization called the Weston A. Price Foundation. And that's where I learned through one of their cookbooks that the founder wrote called Nourishing Traditions. That's where I learned about soaking nuts and grains and seeds overnight and the health benefits of it.
Now, is this something that people could do at home, or is sprouting something that's really reserved more for companies?
Super easy. I actually did a Facebook Live about a month ago where I showed the process. For any type of a flour or a nut that you're going to grind into a nut butter, all you need to do is soak it in the water overnight, and it does need to have a little bit of some type of an acid in it. So it could be lemon juice or a little bit of apple cider vinegar in the water as well, but you just need to soak it overnight. And then the next day you drain it. If you're going to grind it, if it's a wheat berry or some type of a grain that you're going to grind into flour, then you do have to dry it, which you can do in a lot of normal ovens, and then you could grind it into a flour. For a nut, if you're going to make a nut butter, you just need to drain it and dry it, somewhat, and then you can grind it into a nut butter. We buy sprouted gluten-free oat flour, and then we buy sprouted almond butter from a place out west that makes it. I wish I could find a local company for this, but there is unfortunately no one here in Michigan that produces these products. They're difficult to find.
Not yet.
Not yet. You're right. Maybe in the future.
Maybe, who knows? Maybe somebody will see this and it will inspire them to make their own sprouted grain company right here in Michigan. But if you guys want to check that out, if you want to see Elena's video, that she has her live stream on sprouting grains, please feel free to go ahead and check out her Facebook page, Sprout Bake, and you can just look up that video in her feed. Now, Elena, there are some other things that are missing or absent from your muffin mixes that help people with allergies besides just gluten. So what are some of the things that you avoid using in your muffin mixes?
Well, one of the big things, of course, is any type of preservatives or any type of artificial sweetener or any type of artificial coloring we would never use. Those are all things that cause all kinds of issues. We discovered with one of my children early on that artificial colors, particularly the red dye and the blue dye, caused all kinds of ADD and ADHD types of symptoms in him. And so, fortunately, we learned early on to cut those things out. What we really tried to do with the breakfast cookies and with the batter is chock it full of nutrition. So our batters have either canned organic butternut squash or sweet potato or pumpkin in them. So like every mom out there, I was always looking at how could I sneak something good in that my kids wouldn't notice, right? So how easy is it in a cupcake or a muffin to sneak in sweet potato, butternut, or pumpkin, and they can't even tell. We also use applesauce as our main sweetener, and then a little bit of coconut sugar. And I use coconut sugar because it is one of the least processed sugars out there, and it has a lot of great enzymes and nutrients in it.
We talked with Lisa Genza a couple of weeks ago. If you want to see her 2 for Tea live stream that we did for her, just scroll back in our feed and you can see that. But Lisa had been talking about coconut sugar, that not only does it have all those great things in it, but it is also relatively low on the glycemic index. So if you're somebody that's watching that sugar level, or if you're struggling with something like type 1 diabetes or something like that, that is good to know.
Exactly, exactly. So that was our goal, was to just pack these breakfast cookies and this frozen batter with all kinds of great nutrition so that you could feel really good about eating a treat. Tastes like a treat, but it's good for you.
I like treats. I keep wanting to look at you right here. I keep wanting
We're having fun, you guys.
We're having fun. We're having fun. I'll just have to look at Kylie. Kylie is one of our team members that's behind my camera. We appreciate the job that her and Grant are doing to bring this to everybody and let you guys see this. So let's talk a little bit, Elena, about cookies and cream, because you not only own Sprout Bake, but you also own Cookies and Cream right here below 20 Front Street for those of you that are local to the Lake Orion or the northern Oakland County area. So tell us a little bit about Cookies and Cream and why you have the ice cream you do. And I know you have an ice cream that is dairy-free, which I am very excited about. I think I might have to try some before I leave today.
Yes, yes. So it's a little bit of an interesting story because we didn't set out to own an ice cream shop. It's one of those things that kind of happened along the way. We started Sprout Bake with the muffins and the muffin batter, and we were using a commercial kitchen that a friend of mine owned and was graciously letting us use on Sundays to produce our product. And she put the facility up for sale. Well, we needed a licensed facility to produce our product. So we went looking, and I happened to know the folks who own 20 Front Street here and the building owner here, and so reached out, started a conversation with them, came up here to, I'd been in the space many times, but came up here to talk to them about it, and they said, we have this ice cream shop downstairs. How would you like to have an ice cream shop too? You can produce your product out of there, and you can also run an ice cream shop all summer. And I thought, wow, it sounds kind of fun. Who doesn't love ice cream? My daughter had just graduated from college and had just moved home, and she looked at me and said, I'll run it for you. I said, great. So that's how we ended up with an ice cream shop. Really, we were looking for a facility to produce our product in, but it's been a blast. And we couldn't call an ice cream shop Sprout Bake.
No, you could not.
I just kind of thought no one would come. So we came up with the idea of Cookies and Cream because of our breakfast cookies and because I have been baking chocolate chip cookies since I was 12 years old. My family would always tease me about every Sunday making the chocolate chip cookies. They really wouldn't tease me. I mean, they loved that I made them every Sunday. But it was just something that I always did and always had a passion for, was baking cookies. And so Cookies and Cream just seemed like
just came.
Yes, exactly.
Well, tell us about the ice cream that you serve at Cookies and Cream.
Yeah, so we were really excited. We serve Ray's ice cream, which is made right in Royal Oak, Michigan. They've been making Ray's ice cream since 1958, and this is what it looks like in their half-gallon tubs, and I have their cookies and cream flavor right here, which is phenomenal. So we were excited to find a local ice cream company. And then also, something that we do that's a little bit different from all the other ice cream shops in town is we have vegan ice cream. So again, we were able to find a local producer. Ice Cream Plant is the name of the company, and they make this down at Eastern Market. Wonderful young couple who started making this ice cream because their children had so many food allergies, and they couldn't find an ice cream that their children could eat. So again, just like we started, that's how they started, trying to fix a problem. And they started making their own ice cream, and everybody loved it so much. one thing leads to another. Hey, you should start a business. There are lots of other people out there that would enjoy the same ice cream. So it's made with coconut milk, and then absolutely none of the major allergens in their ice cream. And that has been a huge hit. We sell a lot of that ice cream all week long.
I'm sure it has. I can just imagine that would just be a growing hit as well. Now there's one thing that you are very passionate about, and I know I am very passionate about that as well, and that's supporting other companies, other small businesses. And especially in this particular time with all of the businesses going down and other ones just struggling to make it, it's challenging for small businesses to do that. And I love seeing people like you and companies like you that are so supportive of the local businesses. And I know in your cookies and cream shop, you use a lot of Michigan-made products. So just if we could just spend a couple minutes, I want to highlight a couple of those products and just tip our hats to our fellow small business owners and say, good job, we're with you, we support you, and we are wishing you all the best as we all try to recover from this pandemic period. So why don't you tell us a little bit about that?
Yes, I would love to. This is something that I am extremely passionate about. My background is in working with small businesses. I was director of the Orion Area Chamber of Commerce here in Lake Orion for 6 years. And then I went to become director of the Rochester Regional Chamber of Commerce, and then own my own small business. And so I have had the unique opportunity of working with businesses through those two chambers of commerce, and then having the opportunity to know what it's actually like to own a business. And it made me even more passionate about small businesses. And after this whole thing started and we were looking to reopen our ice cream shop for the season, I kind of looked around at our toppings that we had to put on our ice cream, and I thought, why am I supporting these large corporations? Now, not that I am against large corporations, but I thought, I know so many local businesses that make great products here that would be amazing on top of our ice cream. So I started reaching out and slowly switching over our toppings into local toppings. And so one of the first ones that we switched over to were these gummies. So these are gummies made by Sherm's Candy, and they live right over in Oakland Township. And I had the privilege of meeting them through the Rochester Regional Chamber, and they're gummies shaped like Michigan, Upper and Lower Peninsula. How cute is that?
I love that. I absolutely love that.
They also make a hard candy shaped like Michigan as well, called their Mishi Minis. So these are absolutely phenomenal on top of your ice cream, especially kids love them. And then we also sell the candy by the bag in our shop. I also knew Heidi from the toffee shop.
I love Heidi. Heidi and I couldn't get enough of her toffee if I tried.
Amazing toffee, many flavors, absolutely phenomenal. She's been in business since 2010, again, right here on Orion Road. And I thought, oh, crushed toffee? Who wouldn't love crushed toffee on top of their ice cream? So I called her up. We got a whole bunch of crushed toffee, and then also added all of her different flavors of toffee that we sell in the store in these beautiful packages. So if you need a gift, these make great gifts. Oh,
now it's really crushed.
It is really crushed.
It's ready for ice cream.
That was a good one. So the toffee's amazing. We also have hickory smoked cashews.
Oh, yum.
Made right here in Lake Orion by Hickory and Hops. I found out about them through the gentleman that owned Oat Soda right here in downtown Lake Orion. Said, you know, I think some smoked cashews would be amazing on top of your ice cream. So we quickly added those to the lineup.
And we'll make sure to put all of the links to all of these companies We'll make sure to put them down in the comments or in the description just so you guys can have an opportunity to contact them, go to their website, see what they have. If you're not getting them on top of your ice cream, go ahead and order them from them directly. We really encourage you to check out these companies. But I think you have one more, two more?
Yes, just a couple more.
A couple more.
So the other one that we started carrying, and again, made in Ferndale, Michigan, Carlo's grain-free granola. So they have 4 different flavors of grain-free granola, and we got really creative. So not just a topping on an ice cream, which it's great for that, and it's great to eat right out of the bag, but we add their granola to our breakfast cookies.
Yum.
So we now have
Yum.
4 different flavors of breakfast cookies featuring their granola. So makes them healthy. Their granola has I've got to read the ingredients: sunflower seeds, coconut, honey, Michigan cherries, cocoa powder in this one because it's the chocolate, pumpkin seeds, the Himalayan pink sea salt. So really good, clean ingredients in this granola. Which
And you
is
gotta love
phenomenal.
Michigan cherries. Michigan cherries are just, they're the best.
That's right, that's right. So we're just so excited. And last but not least, we can't forget our furry friends. Okay, we sell puppy cups, scoop of vanilla,
It's so cute.
ice cream, and right here in Lake Orion, we have a company called Healthy Dogma. The owners are absolutely phenomenal. They're just amazing. And so we put their little dog treats on top of the puppy cups for our little furry friends.
And I am super excited. I am missing my tea. I am missing my tin of tea. I am super excited because I think it's this coming weekend, maybe. I'm not quite sure. You'll have to update us on that, Elena. But you can now get a cup of Because You Are Priceless tea at Cookies and Cream. So you can come if you're running on the Paint Creek Trail, or you are just out for a walk and you want to get a morning cup of coffee or a little bit of muffins or some of the yummy baked goods that Elena has, you can also get a cup of Because You're Priceless tea.
That's right. It's our Paint Creek Trail special. We open now on Saturday and Sunday mornings at 10 a.m. and featuring Because You Are Priceless tea, along with our yummy muffins and breakfast cookies. So when you're riding your bike back and forth on the trail, stop by and see us. We love seeing our community and conversing with everybody and serving you up something nutritious and healthy and the amazing Because You Are Priceless tea.
Thank you. Well, Elena, you are as our viewers know, I am a huge proponent of multitaskers. So I like products that can be used for more than just one thing, whether it's using Carlo's grain-free granola just for your cereal or on top of ice cream or in breakfast cookies. It's something you can do so many different things with. And I'm a big fan of being able to do that with not only my own tea, but also with other products that I purchase as well. And you have really cornered the market on that with your muffin mixes for Sprout Bake. So tell us about some of the yummy things that you do with your muffin mixes.
So it's kind of cool. Since you can buy the batter frozen, so we sell it in a 16-ounce frozen container that looks like this, you can take it home and bake it in any shape that you might want to. So you could bake it as a quick bread, a loaf of quick bread, a muffin or a cupcake. Obviously, we have a double chocolate that is fabulous as a cupcake.
I love the double chocolate.
And again, getting that nutrition into your children without them knowing it. And then you can make a coffee cake with it and put a simple crumble on top. Any type of a crumble or streusel that you might like to put on top of a coffee cake. I've done the lemon chia seed and stirred in frozen blueberries. That's the other thing you can do. You can thaw the batter and you can stir in anything you might want to stir into the batter. So whether it's a dried fruit or a frozen fruit or nuts, the dried Michigan cherries, anything like that can be added to the batter, so you can actually customize it and make it your own. My daughter made my birthday cake this year out of our sweet potato cinnamon and our double chocolate. She layered the two together and made me a 3-layer cake.
That's awesome.
I thought that was really creative. And I wanted to show you real quick, why don't you tell us what you made?
Okay. I'll tell you a little bit about so Elena made up her chocolate, I think did you make them into cupcakes?
Yep.
Okay, so she made up her double chocolate mix into cupcakes, and we were trying to think of a fun way to incorporate some tea into the product, because like I said, I'm all about multitaskers. So anytime I can use some of my tea for something that's not just good in the cup, but outside of the cup, I am all for it. So I made some fun Earl Grey whipped cream. And we're going to put the recipes in the description so you can download those and use those. We're also going to put a couple of Elena's recipes of ways that you can use her mixes to make either a coffee cake or cupcakes or some of the other things she talked about today. We'll put those in there too. But one of the whipped creams that I made here it's just a really simple whipped cream. It's heavy whipping cream and a little bit of sugar, and what I did was I actually took the sugar, and for the sugar I actually used our lavender fusion, which is a lavender sugar infusion mix. So we took lavender and infused it into the sugar. So I used that, and then I ground up using a coffee grinder, although you could just chop it real small with a butcher knife or something like that. I took our Earl Grey tea, I don't know if you can see the little spots in there, but I put that into the mix and then whipped it into stiff peaks. You can't see it as much anymore because it's been a little while since I've done it, and obviously it's not refrigerated at the moment, but it is super delicious. But what I also did is, Elena, you have this one. I have another one where I used the typical ingredients for a whipping cream, but what I did additionally is I added some mascarpone cream, or cheese, not cream. I added some mascarpone cheese. And I upped the Earl Grey, so it's really a stronger Earl Grey flavor along with the mascarpone. Now, one of the things that does, adding that cheese element, is it actually takes it and thickens it and allows it to be thicker and a little bit heavier if you're going to use it as part of the top of a dessert. And the tea being in there actually takes some of the moisture that can be released by that cream as it's sitting there, and it takes it and sucks it up, so you really maintain that stiffer peaks for a longer period of time. So I know we have it in a piping bag right now, and Elena is going to show you how to be super fancy with your cupcakes.
Yes, exactly. So I've got our double chocolate cupcake right here. Really easy, just to put it in a piping bag, and I love that she did the mascarpone cheese in it, because it makes it so nice and thick. And then boom, beautiful little cupcake frosted with some amazing frosting. Now you have a cupcake for your kid's birthday party.
Or for us to eat
With
as
our
soon
tea?
as we're done. Yes, with our tea. I know, I've been eyeballing those since you made it, and I'm pretty excited about having one. So Earl Grey, for those of you that don't know, Earl Grey goes amazingly well with a chocolate dessert. Whether you're making a chocolate pudding or you're making a chocolate mousse, or you're going with a chocolate cupcake or chocolate cake or lots of different chocolate related items, Earl Grey is a great pairing. Now, you really can use any Earl Grey that you want to. I really would recommend going with a loose leaf that you either chop up really fine or you put through like a coffee or an herb grinder type of thing, because that's really where you're going to get the best flavor. You could also sub in some other teas just to give a little bit of a natural boost to that. We have used our timey-wimey blend. So that is one we'll put the link in that you can get from us. However, you can also use other flavors. Just make sure your tea is organic, and again, try to use loose leaf whenever possible. So I'm getting some interesting looks from our interns right now. So are we good?
My microphone fell out.
We're gonna take a quick cut.
Good to know.
It felt rather interesting. The joy. Okay, awesome.
I do think we should at least leave some of that in. Just
Oh, I don't think I'm gonna cut it at all, actually.
Okay.
I'm thinking about it.
all right. So, well, anyway, Elena, I had a really fun time today. I hope you had a fun time as well.
I did. Thank you so much for having me today. I really appreciate it. You know, it's this type of interaction between two small businesses, startup companies, entrepreneurs. We're both out there, you know, chasing our dreams, doing something that we're very passionate about, and the collaboration is just phenomenal.
Well, I appreciate you being also willing to be our guinea pig, if you will, for doing a sort of live stream, but in a little bit of a different way. I appreciate you working with us and allowing us to practice with you. So
Thank you.
that is all we have for today. So from all of us here at Because You Are Priceless, go out and try something new, maybe even start your own business. Have fun, and remember that you are priceless. See you next time.